What if I told you the Baltimore Ravens were one signature away from turning Maxx Crosby into their next defensive monster? And then they walked away. 2 first-round picks, a done deal. Maxx already in Baltimore getting scans. Then, boom, the physical hits, the knee raises eyebrows, and the entire trade dies on the table. The Raiders' heart and soul is back in the black hole, and the league is losing its mind. But here's the part that's going to keep you glued. Analysts, former players, Hall of Famers, and insiders are not holding back. They're saying things about Maxx Crosby that you have never heard before. Raw, real, and straight from the locker room. If you want to know exactly what they said and why this failed trade just made Maxx even more dangerous, smash that like button right now. Drop Raiders in the comments if you're riding with Mad Max, and subscribe because we're about to break down every single explosive reaction you can't miss. Let's go.
We're back. Hey, we're back. We're back. Give me the phone. CJ calls me and goes, "You're a Baltimore Raven." I was like, I didn't even know how to react, bro. I was in shock. I'm like, holy shit, bro. Like, you know what I mean? You hear the rumors, you hear everything going on. You have this thought of, okay, maybe I'm getting traded. I don't know. And then like it happens and you're like, holy shit, like this is real. And you know what I mean? Like you can't really prepare yourself for that. I've been with the Raiders my whole career. I love being a Raider. Like everyone knows that. So it's just like, holy shit, like this is real. Yeah. There's a mixture of excitement, shock. I'm gonna just be 100% real with you. Doug and CJ, he's like, I don't think this is gonna go the way we expected it to. Like, I'm like, what? Like, I'm like, what are you talking about? He's like, they're probably gonna back out of this. I'm like, all right. So I'm sitting there waiting for a call. I can't even sit still, bro. I'm like, what the f? I mean, one of the Ravens guys called me and was like, yo, we're trying to figure this out. You know, we're gonna get this done. Don't worry. Like 5 minutes later, CJ calls me. It's like, they're backing out. I'm like, holy shit. So I'm like frozen. I'm like, what the f? I'm fucking livid, confused, the whole 9 all in one. So we packed all our shit. And literally it's the same thing as when I got the trade call. I got a call. I literally, as I was getting off the phone with CJ, ticker. Trade with Maxx Crosby's off on my phone. My shit starts blowing up. I'm like, here we go.
We feel bad for Maxx Crosby because obviously this deal fell through and there's some question marks about him because anytime you sit up there and you're going to allude to a failed physical, that raises an eyebrow and that gives you cause to pause. And I'm not sure he deserves that. That's number one. Number two, we also have to feel sorry for him because he's still a Raider. Let's call it what it is. The only thing to celebrate about the Las Vegas Raiders is the fact that Tom Brady is there. And you hope that things are going to get better. Fernando Mendoza is coming with the number 1 overall pick. But as a team, you just look at them and they say they're sorry. Sin City, my goodness, what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. We always thought that applied to the city. Now it applies to the Raiders as well. What happens in Vegas stays the hell there. Nobody's really interested right now outside of Tom Brady. If you're interested in Tom Brady.
Called off. I got that news as you did from Adam Schefter's Twitter feed. Shefty, what can you tell us? How in the world did this deal that was made on Friday night get called off on Tuesday?
Well, this is about a medical issue, Greeny, and this is about how different sides interpret the condition of Maxx Crosby's knee, which underwent surgery 8 weeks ago. He was on crutches until just last week. Now, in speaking with his doctor who performed the surgery, Neil Elitrosh, overnight, he felt like the timing of the physical could have been pushed back. But he does believe that Maxx Crosby is on schedule, and they're hoping to have him ready for the start of the regular season. But the issue is, Maxx Crosby was in Baltimore on Tuesday for a physical. He met with doctors. Doctors took scans. Doctors looked at scans, and based on what they saw, the Ravens did not feel comfortable to pass him on that physical, which nullified the trade. Obviously, there are outside doctors that consulted as well, including the Cowboys surgeon, Dr. Cooper, who performed the surgery on Patrick Mahomes, who performed the surgery on Malik Neighbors, who many teams and NFL players look to for guidance. So if and when the Ravens decided to back out of the deal, it also came after consulting with the Cowboys doctor, Dr. Cooper, whatever was said. Now, the Raiders feel like the Ravens got cold feet, but the Ravens feel like they had a huge purchase. They invested 2 first-round draft picks, and once they had him in their building and reviewed all the tests, they were not comfortable moving ahead. The only analogy I could use is if you were to go buy a brand new house and it looked beautiful and you toured it online and then you agreed to purchase the home, and you had an inspector come through who said he was worried about this and worried about that, would it make you nervous about executing that deal? Probably. And the Baltimore Ravens didn't like what they heard, and they backed out of the deal. So now that leaves us, as the new league year opens today, in certainly an unusual spot, because Maxx Crosby is now a Raider. His money is back on their books. They're honoring their contracts. And the Ravens now don't have their pass rusher, but they have their first-round picks back.
All right, folks, we got a blockbuster trade. A shocking move. The Ravens sent 2 first-round picks to the Raiders. 4-star pass rusher Maxx Crosby. This is shocking because the Ravens do not do this. And our Jamison Hensley, who covers the team, noted this is the first time they have ever traded a first for a vet. And one can see why. This is a team that is all in, kind of like the Rams and Bills, right, making big trades. And a team that had a very bad pass rush last year. 30th in pressure rate, bottom 5 in most metrics. A lot of that had to do with the absence of Nnamdi Madubuike, who's their best defensive lineman. But this is something they have tried to address in the draft, free agency, with mixed results. In Crosby, they get a complete player. And that's important because I think their new head coach, former Chargers defensive coordinator Jesse Minter, wants to play the run with light boxes. He wants to get pressure with 4. Crosby allows them to do that. He also never leaves the field. He is an Iron Man. Now, this is the part we note that his production has dipped over the last couple of years, but I would point to the fact that last season he was playing with a knee injury, just got surgery for that. And if you go back, look just to the year before, his pass rush win rate was close to as high as it's ever been. So the Raiders are betting on a return to form. I think the Ravens, they're also betting that getting to play in front of their secondary, much better than Vegas, next to Madubuike, who eats up double teams, and with a lead, with Lamar Jackson back, will get more production out of Maxx Crosby. It's a lot, frankly, for a 29-year-old player, but if the Ravens advance far in the postseason as they are hoping, all would be forgotten, of course. From the Raiders side of things, this is great return. Honestly, it's more than I thought they would get, so that's a massive win. Also gives them some ammunition to continue adding pieces around Fernando Mendoza. There are a lot of glaring needs, offensive line, receiver, perhaps the most notable ones. So I like the fact that they are now armed going into this draft and next year to do that.
For me, it'll be a little awkward. You move on, then you go back to it's like we made the trade, and then however it fell through, it didn't fall through, and now I'm back in your household again. For me, I'll feel uncomfortable. Now, I don't know how I'll feel, like would I want to be there? Would I want to stay there? I'll kind of be more trying to figure something else to trying to go somewhere else. That's just for me. I don't know how Max feel, but me personally, I don't know if I'll be comfortable in that building.
Maxx Crosby talked about Eric DeCosta, Jesse Minter, the Baltimore Ravens, how they handled his situation.
Before I left, I wanted to see the head coach just chop it up, talk football, talk ball. Like, he's a defensive guy. Never met him before like that, so I wanted to chop it up. So I didn't get to meet with him till the end of the day. I didn't get to see the GM at all.
When you hear what Max said, how does that sort of shape your view of that entire situation?
Man, you know what? First off, man, huge shout out to Max. He's just a consummate pro. The way he carries himself, just everything he does in his approach, man, is always intense and full speed. And, you know, in this particular situation, I really love how Max have been calculated in his response to it. He could have really just aired him out, but in so many words, right? He basically said what we all knew, that the Ravens over him. That this whole entire thing was botched. They had to have some sort of inclination of where he was progressing along with his injury. And I'm pretty sure whatever they saw with the doctor in that physical wasn't that extreme to where they had to void the trade. But business is business. We sort of go through this thing, kind of jump around it. At the very end of the day, business is business, and they made the move that they thought was going to be best for the Ravens, and we can't ever question that, right? At the very end of the day, no matter how it looks on the surface, it looked awful for fans, for the NFL. People thought Tom Brady was behind the scene, had something to do with it. Through my DMs I received. But, you know, aside from all of that messy, how it looks on the surface, I really want to commend Max for how he responded and just really going through each and every detail without just saying the Ravens screwed over me. Mm-hmm. So that's what I take from it.
Show me the Carfax. In house, there's an inspection period. it comes back to the point that we like Max. We're personal friends with Max. He's been on the show a number of times. He's cool, your homeboy. He's a commodity for companies. They're utilizing his ability so he can go and win games for them. They messed him over.
Yeah.
But it was legal that what they did. They have to come in and pass a physical, and then they can, continue with the trade. That's how it's set up in the CBA. So if that's the process, and they back out of the process, it's just like buying a house, an inspection period, just like buying a car if you want to get the Carfax. That's what happened, right. And it's nobody. The Raiders doctor says he's fine. The Ravens doctor says he's not fine. And the Ravens can pull out. That's a part of the process. So it just goes back to these players understanding that you're a commodity for $1 billion organization.
Like before I left, I wanted to see the head coach just chop it up, talk football, talk ball. Like he's a defensive guy. Never met him before like that, so I wanted to chop it up. So I didn't get to meet with him till the end of the day. I didn't get to see the GM at all.
This is directed to Maxx Crosby because it happened to me. Max, it wasn't that team was obligated to meet the owner, to meet the GM, or to even meet the head coach. What you got a harsh reality of, your experience that you went through happens more than not. It took my brother to have a tryout for the Carolina Panthers for us to have a heart-to-heart for him to realize it's like, bro, I know I'm going to try out for a team that 80%, I know they're not going to sign me. I go through drills knowing that, bro, this is meaningless. There's undrafted free agents, there's free agents, there's people that's trying out for a team that has a unbelievable journey to try to make the team. What you just went through, Maxx Crosby, was what an average NFL player goes through. Unfortunately, Aaron Rodgers took offense to when Aaron Glenn said to him, like, yeah, I could have had a virtual call for this. But A-Rod, Max, Cam, we are so used to having presidential treatment because you are a star player.
That's for a reason, though.
Yes, but
you got presidential stats, a presidential record, a presidential status of being a person that will change a franchise.
Yes, that still doesn't negate that there's 90% other players that this is their reality too. And I'm not trying to say that Max is not a presidential qualified, roll out the red carpet, send the private jet, go get the cheerleaders, go get the fans, and we about to make a party happen because this ain't no average player. But what he experienced was what the average NFL player goes through.
So this was just a reality check.
This is a reality check, and that's what I want him to understand. You may think they did you wrong, but this is normal procedure, brother.
Eric DaCosta said at the podium when the trade was rescinded, it hasn't stopped my phone from ringing, the way you conduct business. Let me be clear, Eric DaCosta, that's not about you, right? Your phone's not ringing because your draft picks have been working out, because you've built a team around Lamar Jackson, who's a transcendent talent that can win a Super Bowl. That ain't why your phone ringing. Your phone ringing is because you're one of 32 and you have NFL players on your team. That's why your phone ringing. It's not about you. Let's chill with the who gonna check me boo bravado, right? Let's let that go. Now, on the other side of it though, the Ravens did business as business was being done, as Fred always says. The Ravens, whether they made a decision because they could get Trey Hendrickson and keep the picks, whether it's true they saw something on Max's evaluation that made them hesitant to give up those 2 first-round picks, the Ravens did business as business is being done. All that's fine to me, right? I'm gonna be honest. Max hit me up and for lack of a better word, he checked me, right? And the one thing, Max is somebody I admire. Max is somebody I reach out to throughout the season to say, hey man, good job, man. Love the way you're representing. All those things. When he hit me up, I'm not arguing. I'm not fighting. This ain't about tough talk. You tell me where you think I went wrong, because I'm always going to side with the player. He feels his injury, his evaluation has been misrepresented, right? Even some of the things you hear through reports, some of the things people are saying on TV, that's not it. Tim Grover, who works with him, told me Max will be fine. And if Max is fine, I feel like the Ravens made a mistake, because 100% Max puts them in a better place than those 2 picks and 100% Trey Hendrickson. But we don't know that going forward. What we do know is when Max is in your care, he's supposed to be taken care of in the way that he deserves and earns it. He's supposed to get FaceTime with the GM. Him and his family are supposed to be cared for, like at least at this point, you are a Raven. And more importantly, he's supposed to get transparency. Tell me what on my medical doesn't check out. Tell me where I'm behind what my scheduled plan is. Tell me where I won't be available in August. And if you do all those things, then you've done everything you're supposed to do by Maxx Crosby, which he deserves. And if I'm sitting in that locker room, I'm knowing as a Raven, these people ain't moving right. No, they're going to still get players. Why, Chan? Because you won the 32 and you got NFL money.
Yep.
But they will be very weary of how Eric DaCosta moves and how Jesse Minter is moving going forward.
Like, I'm a fucking Raider. Like, I know this shit is hard, and I know the fucking hard days are fucking hard, but it's going to mean that much more when we win. And like guys like Aaron Donald, it took him 9 years to get that Super Bowl ring. In the biggest fucking moment, he was more than ready, and he goes out there and helps his team get a win. Like, that's how I see it. And I just, like, no matter what, if I went to some really good team and contender and like win a Super Bowl, like that would be the greatest thing ever. But like in the back of my head, I'd be like, I feel like it just wouldn't feel the same if I did it on another team. So that's why I like Kobe, MJ, guys like that. Those are the guys that are my.
Do you plan to stay with the Raiders for good?
I want to. You know, I want to retire a Raider. There's no question about that.
Yeah.
I love being a Raider. You know what I mean? I feel like it's who I was born to be on. I feel like it fits exactly who I am.
Yeah.
Mark and the whole, front office guys, like, I got a ton of love for him. Recently he was a little, upset with me about the whole deal that went down. But at the end of the day, like, that's any relationship. It's not going to be perfect, smooth sailing. And
yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, it sounds like you just want to win.
That's all that matters to me, bro.
Yeah.
And I want him to win. That's the thing. I'm not coming from a selfish perspective where it's like, no, I don't give a like, I'm going to give my money regardless, whatever. Like, it's not that. I want to win here, and I want him to win and have success.
Maybe we can just get in a room and give him a hug and say, Max, we're sorry. We didn't really mean it. I was on the golf course enjoying my Wednesday. All right. And I got a text from our editor saying there might be a problem because we filmed yesterday and Maxx Crosby was a Raven. Okay. And we had a lot to say. I don't understand.
Okay, I don't understand either. So maybe I thought you don't.
And some things in life we never will.
Okay.
All I know is whatever is happening to Maxx Crosby, all you're doing is digging the chip on his shoulder even deeper. And I feel bad for any quarterback. Look, if you're a tight end, I'm just going to say this, that plays Maxx Crosby next year, GG, brother. All right. You thought he had a motor before. You wait till that surgically repaired knee gets 100%. And he's running rampant through your offensive line and your backfield. Like, he's going to live on your side of the ball. Anyway, Maxx Crosby's back on the Raiders. How long? I don't know. Is it forever? I sure hope so. I'm praying to the dear Lord that nothing changes, or else I'm going to have to show up and hit a YouTube live and correct everything.
Mad Maxx Crosby. That guy is the definition of a Raider. He was a skinny little white dude coming out of Eastern Michigan. You saw him his rookie year and you were just like, what are they thinking? Like, this kid's not big. He's not very fast, just kind of lanky, and he has this awkward pass rush. But then you saw him kind of go through some adversity, have some injuries, get himself cleaned up, go to rehab, get everything going. And then you just saw him like take off, like just watching him train, watching him take care of his body. He's all in. He's not taking a second off to not get better. So to see him transition from a guy to the guy and watch him bring the energy in practice and watch him just wreck a practice. I'm coaching the O-line and I'm just sitting back laughing. Like, they'll come to me be like, what should I do on that one? I'm like, good luck, brother. That's we did a scrimmage one night and it was, don't touch the quarterback. Everybody else is live, don't touch the quarterback. He came ripping off the edge, put Minshew on his head, sack fumble, and everybody was like, all right, Max can touch the quarterbacks. Max can touch the quarterbacks, but
watching him kind of go through like a similar transformation as me. Him coming in, like, he already had 10 sacks as a rookie back before he even had got sober. So it's like, you see the ability that's here, but to navigate life and go through like some of the bottom that he went through and to make a decision of like, no, I'm gonna do whatever it takes to be like the best version of me possible. You see that take his game to like levels we probably haven't seen, just like with the intensity that he plays with and just like the passion that he brings to like every detail of the recoveries. Like, how the great ones, like every single detail of everything that goes into the craft, like he's locked in on and, trying to bring guys with him. So it's like, it's amazing to see that because like, I feel like men need examples of that because there's a lot of men that struggle, that hit low points and they might just fold it up or they might just be going through. So to see like somebody like him And somebody like me, like, we just like, yeah, we was down bad too. Like, we back on our feet, and now we finna make this shit shake.
Right.
And I think that those are the type of stories to see him, walking that out and continuing to take it to new levels.
Yeah.
Mention those tats. Can the camera see what these tats are here?
Yeah.
So
I got baby girl up here. We got Jordan, Ali, Kobe, Pete Legendary, roses, diamonds. I love diamonds. Got a lot of stuff on me, but yeah, I'm just a young tatted man. Probably Julius Peppers. I mean, he was like 6'8", 290, just shredded. He was a freak of nature. Speed had to be like Lawrence Taylor. Straight Reggie White. The hump move changed the game. He really was throwing people like little kids. Footwork, I would say like right now, probably Myles Garrett, the Euro step and stuff like that. He's got some stuff to him for sure. Ooh, hands. I'll say myself. IQ, either Bruce Smith or Strahan. Guys that did it for so long, so consistently, knowing how to rush and certain situations, I feel like those guys did it at the highest level.
We fooled them all. We fooled them all.
If you're talking about like the top level guys,
Guess who? Maxx Crosby.
Unacceptable. The NFL should look into this. Treat him with respect. The man said he ain't even talked to the GM for 5 hours. This ain't a guy you just picking up off the streets.
That part.
Right? This ain't a guy you trying to figure out who it is. It's Maxx Crosby, one of the best players in the league. Bro, when I heard this, I couldn't believe it. So I had to text him like, yo, is this real? He said, bro, it's real. There's no way a guy like Maxx Crosby would get treated like this. One team trades you, the other team is receiving you. They're happy to get you. They can't wait. When you get there, everybody in the building is happy to see you. From the ticket office, the marketing, people, the execs upstairs, the GM, the head coach, the money guys. Like, everybody's there to greet you. When I got to Buffalo, everybody was everybody, kids. The head coach's son was there, like everybody. And then now I hear with Maxx Crosby's like, it's nowhere near that. We're the same type of player. Unacceptable. The NFL should look into this. They look into everything else with these players. You do this, you do that. They always look into everything. They need to do the same thing for these owners and GMs. That is unacceptable.
Nickel zone infraction. Defense, number 98.
Hey, we didn't have a play called, Max. We didn't have a play called,